Welcome back to the big show, Video Game Reviews. Today I'll be talking about Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons on the Nintendo Switch. So I'm going to start with what the game is and what it isn't. It is a really fun beat 'em up, and based on that alone, I think it's worth your time. You know, I'm biased. I'm a fan of the genre. However, it's also being called a roguelite, and in my opinion, it barely qualifies as one. So I finished this game in one sitting the first time that I played it. Yes, there are unlockable characters and other goodies, but in my opinion, it takes more than unlockables to make a game a roguelite, especially when those unlockables are this unnecessary to making it to the end credits. Like you really just don't even need them. It's just a game that has some stuff that you can unlock. I wouldn't really call that a roguelite. The first 4 stages, you do get to choose what order you play them in, and my understanding is based on the order that you tackle the stages can be a little bit different, but if you play them in the same order, from what I have seen, and I'm close to the end of my second playthrough, the stage designs remain the same as long as you play the stages in the same order. So again, I wouldn't really call that a roguelite. There's not enough randomization for, in my opinion, for it to really qualify for that genre, but that's what people are calling it anyways. So Double Dragon Gaiden features online play and couch co-op, though I can only comment on the single player experience because that's all I've played. Even in single player mode, you choose 2 characters. You can tag in and out, kind of like the Capcom versus fighting games, where you have multiple characters on your team and then you can kind of swap them out with certain button presses or whatever. So here, the character who you're not using jumps off screen and gets out of your way, which, good decision. And while you're not using a character, their health regenerates, which I believe is also similar to the Capcom versus games. Pretty sure that's how that works. Haven't played those in a while, even though I know they just re-released them recently. So back to Double Dragon here, the characters' movesets do seem a little bit stripped down or simplified compared to other beat-em-ups, other modern beat-em-ups like Streets of Rage 4 or Fight and Rage, just to name a few recent beat-em-ups with kind of more sophisticated movesets. And so that, that's a simplification. That may sound like a red flag, but Double Dragon Gaiden incorporates strategy in other ways. So your special move meter fills up rather quickly. So remembering to incorporate those special moves into your into your attacks on a pretty regular basis, that's going to play a pretty big part in crowd management and also just in your ultimate success or failure. And then also finishing off 3 or more enemies with a special move at the same time will grant you a healing item. So if you can adapt to juggling your characters back and forth via the tag team system, and you are a little bit intentional about earning those health drops by killing enemies with your special move, you shouldn't have too much of a problem cruising right through this game. It is fun enough, even on single player, to replay and earn in-game currency to unlock characters and all that other good stuff. It's not necessarily a one and done type of situation if you're a fan of the genre. It's also worth mentioning that so far, Billy and Jimmy seem to be the only 2 characters who can pick up weapon drops. The other characters, again, based on what I've seen so far, have to make do with their move sets. And on that point, the developers really did do a good job of making the characters feel unique in how they play, rather than just like palette swapping sprites or whatever. Even Billy and Jimmy, who have always been like pretty much the same character, especially at least in the early days of the series. But even between the two of them, they have very different movesets, and they just feel different to play as, which is a pretty strong positive in my opinion. Let's talk about the art style, which, to put it nicely, is a departure for the series. I honestly wasn't sure about it at first, but it's fine. I just feel neutral about it now. It doesn't detract from the game for me, but it also doesn't really add to the experience. It's functional. The music is, of course, solid, as tends to be the case in the Double Dragon series, in my opinion, by and large. However, the sound effects are the real star of this game's presentation. These are some of the hardest hitting punches and kicks in a game ever. They really outdid themselves, in my opinion. Like, with headphones on, you can almost feel the impact. It's a beautiful thing. Good work, guys. Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons, takes up 1.6 gigs and normally sells for $25 on the eShop. If you're a fan of beat-em-ups, it may well be worth that full price. Although it is currently on sale for $12.50 or, 50% off until September 30th, 2024. So even if you're on the fence about this game, you should probably pick it up while it's so affordable. I mean, $12.50, very reasonable in my opinion. Anyways, that's my 2 cents. Thanks for watching. Please click like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time, whenever that may be. Bye-bye.